Son of a bitch.
Groovy.
Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, the 1992 sequel film to the Christmas classic Home Alone, and a movie that I always enjoyed a great deal. I was lucky enough to win a Blu-ray, I should say, of this movie that was sent to me by my buddy Rock, and in the comment section below I will be putting a link to his channel. He did a giveaway and I was fortunate enough to be one of the people who won, and then instead of sending me what he had initially planned, he ended up going through my Amazon wish list and finding this and sending it to me, and I am very, very appreciative of that fact, and it is awesome of him to do, and I'm very, very pleased to have this in my collection because it is a movie that I will always enjoy. I have nostalgia goggles for this one for sure. I definitely do not, I've never thought that it was anywhere near as good as the original, but I've always enjoyed it a great deal. And like I said, I do have nostalgia goggles on this one for sure. I like it maybe a little bit more than it deserves to be liked, because I think that there are much more large flaws in this than there were in the original by a large degree. There are parts of it that don't work nearly as well for me, and just the whole concept of it is hard to take. The whole idea that Kevin McAllister got lost again, and this time in the big city, they set it up in such a way that it's, you know, they do as good a job as I think anybody could to explain away how it took place, but you'd think that after they lost their son the first time that these parents would, you know, almost have like an umbilical cord between them and him, because they'd be so frightened of that concept coming up again, and to see them be irresponsible enough to let it happen again, it's hard to take. I mean, Macaulay Culkin is back as playing Kevin, and I think he does a great job in this. I will say this, I do think that there's a little bit of the sequel-itis, as I like to put it, where you have an actor that's trying to recapture a performance, and there are a couple of moments where it feels like it's almost an impression of the performance he gave in the previous film, but overall I think he has a lot of the same boyish charm that he had in the original, where, you know, he's like a babe in the woods. He doesn't understand the things around him, and he's very innocent about some things, which also is a little bit problematic, because what he's been through in the first film, you'd think he would be a little bit less innocent about the things around him, but it's also kind of cool to see that it didn't get to him to such a degree that it had that effect of taking away that innocence. And, you know, he's definitely very enjoyable in a great deal of the sequences. He's back to a lot of his old tricks. He's, you know, playing videos for people and making them think that it's his dad and all that kind of stuff, and to see him go back to a lot of that stuff is great. And the booby traps that he sets up at the end, all that stuff, you know, it's the greatest hits of the original film, but with a few new tricks thrown in, and great overall. And then you have Joe Pesci back, who is an actor who seems almost incapable of giving a bad performance. I know it's not entirely true. I have seen some of the films he made at the end of his career to date. I mean, hopefully he will be coming back, and he's been announced to be coming back in a film soon, but I thought he was great in this. He definitely plays the character fantastically as this. He's, again, of the two bandits in this case, instead of being the wet bandits, they're the sticky bandits. Of the two, he's definitely the most morally questionable. He seems to be the leader, the guy who's kind of pushing his pal to do some of the things he does. But you know, see him get his comeuppance is great, and he's such a Weasley little guy in this, and it's just great. But he's also extremely smart and resourceful. I greatly enjoy his performance. And Daniel Stern, of course, is back as the other member of the Sticky Bandits, and he's the much more likable of the two. He seems to be fun and funny and entertaining, and his reactions to the things that happen to him throughout the film are absolutely hilarious. There's a moment that is, you know, that is just ingrained in my brain, where he gets electrocuted, and they really go over the top. They actually have this moment where, like, his hair's all puffed out, and you see his skull and all that, and it's interesting because it definitely breaks the reality of the film much more than we saw in the first movie. But it's also a funny moment, and you know, if I saw this movie for the first time as an adult, I don't know how I'd react to it, but when I was a kid and I saw it, I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So it still puts a big smile on my face. Just seeing the Sticky Bandits back together is just great. I think they have a ton of charisma between the two of them. them, and you can really feel some camaraderie while also there being a very defined power dynamic between the two of them, and definitely the idea that, you know, that one of them is the guy that you don't want to trifle with, and the other one, you know, you can do what you want. I thought that they were great. You know, the parents are back, and like I said before, I find them to be a lot less likable in this film because the whole concept of it is just hard for me to stomach. I think Catherine O'Hara and John Hurt do give as good a performance as anybody could, given the situation that they're in. But every time that they're on screen, I just don't enjoy it because of the way that the characters are written in this. It just doesn't work for me. I mean, once everything takes place, they're doing everything they can, just like in the original film, and Catherine O'Hara is taking much more of the lead again, even though in this time John Hurt is definitely much more with her. But it's just the entire time when they're just really trying to get to their son, I'm thinking to myself, well, why did you let this happen again? They introduced, in the original film, they had the old man who Kevin becomes close to and everybody else is afraid of, but he begins to understand. They hit that beat again, this time with quote-unquote pigeon lady, and honestly, I wish her character wasn't in the film at all. I feel like it's completely tacked on and unnecessary. I think that they really told a story with the original character, but this time it definitely feels like they're just trying to do more of the same. I didn't mind it when I was a kid and watched it, but even then I didn't think it was great. And as an adult watching it, it just doesn't work for me because it feels so tacked on. And you know, it does get involved later in the film, just like in the first movie, but that didn't need to be there in this film. Wouldn't have been worse for it, in my personal opinion. It would have been better. They introduced this business owner, this really lovable this business owner, and personally I would have preferred it if his character was kind of more in the pigeon lady spot, where instead of it being this like indigent that Kevin meets and comes to understand, where it was just this kindly old man that he has a deeper relationship with than other people do because he takes the time to talk to him. I think it would have worked a lot better because it wouldn't have been so much of the same. And I thought the performance of the actor was great. He came off as so lovable and innocent, and like an old man that it was actually a boy in a man's body, and I thought that was really cool. He was just had so much charm to him. And then Kevin stays in a hotel in this movie, and there are two of the people who work there, played by Tim Curry and Rob Schneider, that are both a lot of fun on film. Tim Curry plays, both of them are basically like a lot more dubious in their actions. They're kind of the sniveling kind of guys that are just out for their own pocketbooks and all that stuff, which it's fine. I mean, they're not necessarily lovable by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also really, really cool to see Tim Curry in anything. And Rob Schneider, I think, gives one of his better performances here, and it was really cool to see them. So those are my thoughts on Home Alone Lost in New York overall. Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, sorry about that. A movie that I still enjoy a great deal despite its flaws, in my view. One that I will definitely look forward to showing my daughter when she gets old enough to see the mayhem that ensues throughout, and just a movie that I'm very, very thankful to Rock for being able to put in my movie collection. So thank you so much, dude. I really greatly appreciate it. So those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, if you liked the movie, if you thought it was a pale imitation, if you think I'm being too rough on it, whatever. Other than that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people come check out this review and let me know what they think. And if you are new here or you just haven't done it yet, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you can come back, check out when I put out a new video, and let me know what you think. Have yourself a good day.